Most first-time cruisers think boarding a cruise is just like boarding a plane. It's not. There are rules you're never told, mistakes that can delay your luggage for hours, and small boarding day decisions that can completely wreck or save your entire first day. And the scary part? Most people who mess this up did nothing wrong. They just didn't know how cruise boarding actually works. In this video, I'm breaking down 20+ boarding day tips every first-time cruiser needs to know in 2026. From timing mistakes that can get you denied boarding, to the one thing you should always do before Sailaway to avoid surprise charges. And make sure you stick around, because one of the last tips is the reason cruise lines quietly make millions from first-timers. And almost nobody warns you about it. Number 1. Your boarding time is not flexible. A lot of first-time cruisers assume their boarding time is just a suggestion, like airport boarding groups where you can show up whenever and still get on. Cruises don't work like that. If you arrive too early, you'll be stuck waiting outside the terminal with everyone else who thought the same thing. But if you arrive too late, that's where the real risk is. Cruise ships run on tight port schedules, and once boarding closes, the ship will leave without you, even if your bags are already on board. People are shocked by this every single sailing, so treat your boarding time like a hard deadline, not a rough window. Aim to arrive within your assigned time, not hours before and never close to Sailaway. This one mistake alone has ruined more first cruises than almost anything else. Number 2. Online check-in timing affects your entire first day. Most first-time cruisers don't realize this, but when you complete online check-in, quietly shapes how smooth your boarding day will be. Cruise lines open check-in anywhere from 45 days to as little as 15 days before sailing, and the people who check in first usually get the best boarding times. That means less waiting, earlier access to the ship, and more time to actually enjoy day one instead of standing in lines. If you wait until the last minute, you're often stuck with later boarding windows, which can snowball into missed lunch options, booked-out activities, and a rushed start. So as soon as check-in opens, treat it like a priority task. 5 minutes of effort at home can save you hours of frustration on boarding day. Number 3. Lock in boarding access before leaving the hotel. This is one of those mistakes first-time cruisers don't even realize they're making, until they're standing at the terminal with a line behind them. Before you leave your hotel, make sure 3 things are done. First, the cruise line app is fully downloaded and logged in. Second, your boarding pass is saved offline or screenshot so it doesn't rely on Wi-Fi. And third, your phone is still using mobile data, not ship Wi-Fi, or some weak terminal network. Ports are notorious for bad reception, apps freezing, and pages refusing to load right when you need them most. When that happens, boarding slows to a crawl, and everyone feels it. The cruisers who breeze straight through, they handled all of this before they ever left the hotel. Do this once, and boarding suddenly feels effortless instead of stressful. Number 4. Always arrive in the port city the day before. This is still the number 1 mistake that ruins first cruises, and it happens every single sailing. Flights get delayed, traffic backs up, weather changes fast, and the cruise ship will not wait for you. If you try to fly on the same day your cruise leaves, you're gambling your entire vacation on everything going perfectly. Even experienced travelers get caught by this. Arriving the day before removes almost all of that stress. You sleep near the port, wake up calm, and start boarding day relaxed instead of panicked. Cruise lines quietly assume you'll do this, but they rarely say it out loud. If you remember nothing else from boarding day prep, remember this one. Number 5. Cruise port parking takes far longer than you expect. This one catches people completely off guard. Cruise ports aren't like airports where parking garages are spread out and well signposted. On boarding day, thousands of cars are all trying to do the same thing at the same time. Drop bags, find parking, and get inside before their boarding window closes. What should be a quick pull-in can turn into 30 to 60 minutes of circling, waiting, or being waved in directions that somehow make less sense each time. And it's worse on weekends, school holidays, or when multiple ships are sailing the same day. I've seen people show up perfectly on time and still end up sprinting toward the terminal because parking ate half an hour of their life. The fix is simple: build in extra buffer time. Treat parking as part of the boarding process, not something that happens before it. Because nothing kills cruise excitement faster than starting your vacation already stressed and arguing with a boom gate. Next tip coming up is one of those "I wish someone told me this before I boarded" moments. Number 6. You must have an embarkation day carry-on. This is where first-time cruisers get it very wrong. A lot of people assume their checked luggage will magically appear outside their cabin the moment they board. In reality, cabins usually aren't ready until early afternoon, and checked bags can take hours to show up. So if everything you need is in your big suitcase, you're stuck wandering the ship, tired, hungry, and wearing the same clothes you traveled in, which is not the relaxing cruise vibe anyone imagined. Your embarkation day carry-on is basically your survival kit for the first half of the day. Think of it as, what do I need if my luggage disappears until dinner? Medications, valuables, phone chargers, important documents, sunglasses, and one comfort change of clothes should always be with you. I've seen people borrow chargers from strangers, miss lunch because their meds were buried in a suitcase, or sit poolside fully dressed while everyone else is already in swimwear. One small bag fixes all of that. Boarding day goes from annoying to smooth, just by packing this properly. Number 7. Your carry-on should let you function like a human for half a day. This sounds obvious, but judging by what you see on boarding day, it clearly isn't. Your carry-on isn't just for valuables. It's for comfort and sanity while the ship sorts itself out. Picture this. It's noon, your cabin isn't ready, your suitcase is somewhere in the belly of the ship, your phone is on 12%, and you're standing in line for lunch wondering why everyone else looks relaxed. Those people planned for this. Your carry-on should cover the basics. Meds you can't miss. Chargers, sunscreen, sunglasses, lip balm, wipes, and something that makes you feel normal. Even if it's just a clean shirt or comfy shoes. If you wear glasses, put a backup pair in there. If you get cold easily, throw in a light layer. If you've got kids, snacks are worth their weight in gold. It's not about overpacking. It's about not spending the first day thinking, I really should have packed that. Next up is a rule that catches a shocking number of first-time cruisers at security. Number 8. Alcohol rules are enforced at luggage screening. This is where a lot of first-time cruisers accidentally slow down their own vacation. Most cruise lines allow a limited amount of wine or soda, but only if it's carried on. The moment alcohol goes into checked luggage, it gets flagged, pulled aside, and inspected. Best case, your bag is delayed. Worst case, the alcohol is confiscated and your suitcase takes a very scenic tour of the ship before it ever reaches your cabin. And yes, this happens all the time. People assume cruise security is relaxed because it's a holiday. It isn't. It's more like airport security mixed with customs, and they are very good at spotting what doesn't belong. So if you're bringing wine or soda, carry it on yourself, even if it feels awkward or heavy. It saves hours of waiting and a lot of frustration. Because nothing says welcome aboard like wondering where your suitcase is, while your bottle is sitting in a security office somewhere below deck. Quick heads up before we keep going. The next few tips are the ones that separate people who feel relaxed on boarding day from the people wandering the ship stressed, hungry, and dragging bags around for hours. And one of these is a mistake so common that cruise staff actually expect first-timers to mess it up. If you've ever wondered why some cruisers look calm from the moment they step on board, this is where it starts. Please give this video a like and subscribe, and let's keep going. Number 9. Luggage tags fail more often than cruise lines admit. Cruise lines make it sound simple. Print the tag, attach it, done. In reality, those paper tags get bent, soaked, torn, or ripped off constantly during loading. Thousands of bags, metal hooks, conveyor belts, and hurried porters are not a gentle environment. When a tag comes off, your bag doesn't magically know where to go. It ends up in the dreaded unknown luggage pile, and that's when delivery turns from a bit late into, where on earth is my suitcase? The easiest fix is also one of the cheapest. Use clear plastic luggage tag holders and always put an extra ID sheet inside your suitcase with your name and cabin number. Experienced cruisers do this every time. Not because they're paranoid, but because they've learned the hard way. Your luggage arriving smoothly isn't luck, it's preparation. Number 10. Porters don't work for the cruise line, and tipping matters more than people think. This one surprises a lot of first-time cruisers. The people taking your bags at the curb aren't cruise line staff. They work for the port, and their job is to move thousands of bags as fast as humanly possible before boarding closes. Is tipping mandatory? No. Does it make your bags magically appear first? Also no. But showing up prepared and with small bills ready bags clearly tagged, and a quick thank you absolutely helps your bags move smoothly instead of becoming that awkward pile off to the side. What slows things down is people digging through wallets, arguing about tips, or acting shocked that this is even a thing, while 10 cars stack up behind them. Think of porters like airport baggage handlers with a stopwatch and a deadline. Be quick, be polite, be ready, and the whole process is faster for everyone, including you. And coming up next is the tip that won't speed your luggage up at all, but will completely save your sanity if it's late. Number 11. AirTags don't speed your luggage, they stop panic. This is one of those tips people underestimate until the moment they need it. AirTags won't make your suitcase arrive any faster. They don't unlock secret crew shortcuts or bump your bag to the front of the line. What they do give you is peace of mind. When luggage is delayed on boarding day, and it often is, first-time cruisers spiral. They picture their suitcase sailing to the Caribbean without them, or worse, sitting in another country entirely. With an AirTag, you can check your phone and see, okay, it's on the ship. Or, yep, it's still at the port. Or, all right, it's moving, just slowly. That one bit of information completely changes your mood. Instead of lining up at guest services asking the same question everyone else is asking, you relax, grab lunch, and let the system do its thing. Experienced cruisers don't use AirTags because they expect problems. They use them because not knowing is far more stressful than waiting. And the next tip explains why most boarding delays aren't caused by crowds at all. Number 12. Boarding lines are fast, unless your paperwork isn't. Here's something that surprises almost everyone on their first cruise. Even on massive ships with thousands of passengers, boarding usually moves shockingly fast. When everything goes smoothly, people walk straight through and wonder what all the worry was about. The slowdowns happen when documents aren't ready. Someone's passport is buried in a bag. A boarding pass won't load. The wrong ID was brought. A name doesn't match exactly. And suddenly one small issue holds up an entire line. That's why you'll see some people glide through like cruise pros, while others are standing there sweating, scrolling, and apologizing to everyone behind them. If your documents are ready, visible, and saved offline, boarding feels easy. If they're not, it feels like time stops, and everyone is watching. Up next is a tip that instantly frees up the rest of your first day on board. Number 13. Do the muster drill immediately. It unlocks your day. Most first-time cruisers treat the muster drill like something to put off until later. That's a mistake. Until you complete it, the ship quietly limits what you can do. Some venues won't fully open to you, and you'll keep getting reminders until it's done, which is annoying when you're trying to relax. The good news is it's nothing like the old days of standing in the sun wearing a life jacket. Now it's usually a quick safety video on your phone or cabin TV, followed by a fast check-in at your muster station. 5 to 10 minutes, done. And the people who finish it immediately go straight to lunch, the pool, or exploring the ship. The people who don't keep getting interrupted all afternoon. Knock it out early, and the rest of boarding day feels lighter, calmer, and way more enjoyable. Next up is a tip that can save you from standing in one of the longest lines on the ship. Number 14. Your cruise card may already be waiting for you. This is where a lot of first-time cruisers accidentally waste time. As soon as they board, they head straight for guest services, assuming they need to line up to get their cruise card. On boarding day, that line can be brutal. What many people don't realize is that on a lot of ships, your cruise card is already printed and placed either outside your cabin door or waiting near your stateroom area. So instead of joining a long queue, go check your cabin first. Worst case? The card isn't there yet, and you can circle back later when lines are shorter. Best case? You just saved yourself 30 to 45 minutes and started your cruise calm instead of irritated. That little piece of plastic controls your room, your drinks, your spending, and getting on and off the ship. So knowing where it's actually coming from matters more than people think. And the next tip explains what you can usually do with your bags before cabins officially open. Number 15. Cabins often allow a quick bag drop before they're open. This one feels like a secret because no one really announces it. Even though cabins usually aren't officially ready until early afternoon, many ships will let you pop in briefly to drop off your carry-on bags, then ask you to leave while housekeeping finishes up. If this is allowed, it's a game changer. Instead of hauling backpacks, tote bags, and jackets around the ship, you get your hands free almost immediately. Suddenly, lunch is easier. Exploring is easier. Relaxing actually feels relaxing. The key thing to remember is this: drop and go. Don't unpack, don't sit down, don't start just checking a few things. Housekeeping is on a tight turnaround, and lingering is the fastest way to get kicked back out. Use the bag drop, thank the crew, and disappear. Your future self and your shoulders will be very grateful. Number 16. Skip the buffet when you first board. The buffet feels like the obvious move. It's open, it's familiar, and it looks like the fastest way to eat. On boarding day, it's usually the worst option. This is when the buffet is at peak chaos. People dragging carry-ons, wandering in circles looking for tables, kids already overtired, and plates piled way higher than anyone needs. It looks like a food emergency when it's really just bad timing. Meanwhile, the main dining room or smaller casual venues are often open and weirdly calm. You get seated, served, and can actually sit down for 45 minutes without guarding a chair like it's a competitive sport. Experienced cruisers do this on purpose. They use lunch as a pause button. Eat slowly, let crowds thin out, and give the ship time to settle. If you really want the buffet, the sweet spot is later, around early afternoon. Once the first wave clears, boarding day isn't about eating first. It's about eating smart. Number 17. Shows, dining, and classes sell out faster than you expect. And then this is one of those moments where first-time cruisers say, "We'll book it later," and then wonder where everything went. On modern cruise ships, especially full sailings and megaships, the most popular shows, dining times, and fitness classes can disappear within hours of boarding. People with priority access grab the best slots early. Everyone else is left scrolling the app thinking something must be broken. The trick is simple: book first, relax later. As soon as you're on board and connected, lock in the big things you care about. You can always cancel or swap times later if plans change. Experienced cruisers treat boarding day like reservation day, not sightseeing day. 5 minutes of tapping your phone can be the difference between great seats or hearing, "Sorry, that's fully booked," all week. Number 18. Kids clubs form social groups on day one. If you've got kids, this one matters more than most parents expect. On cruises, friendships start fast. By the first evening, kids are already forming groups: who they met at registration, who they sat next to, who they played games with on day one. When parents wait a day or two to register the kids club, their child isn't late, but it feels late. Everyone else already knows each other, and your kid is the new one walking into a room where inside jokes already exist. That's when you hear, "I don't want to go anymore," or "Can you stay with me?" The fix is easy. Register early, even if they don't plan to attend right away. Let them meet the staff, see the space, and recognize a few familiar faces. You're not committing them to anything. You're just giving them a head start socially. And when your kids are happy, your cruise suddenly gets a whole lot more relaxing. Number 19. Embarkation day spa deals are mostly marketing. Boarding day is when the spa goes into full sales mode. There are raffles, today-only signs, and staff encouraging you to book immediately because spots are almost gone. It feels like you'll miss out forever if you don't act right now. Here's the truth: most of those embarkation day deals are designed to lock you in early, not to save you the most money. Real discounts often show up mid-cruise, especially on sea days when the spa still has openings. If you love the spa, absolutely go take a look. Enter the raffle, ask questions. Just don't feel pressured to book on the spot. Experienced cruisers treat embarkation day spa offers like a preview, not a purchase, because nothing ruins relaxation faster than realizing you overpaid before the ship even left port. Number 20. Document your cabin before touching anything. This one takes 2 minutes and can save you a huge headache later. Before you unpack, sit down or start moving things around. Do a quick walkthrough of your cabin with your phone. Take a few photos and a short video. Walls, furniture, bathroom, balcony door if you have one. Why? Because cruise cabins turn over fast and damage doesn't always get noticed right away. A scratched table, a cracked tile, a mark on the balcony rail. If it was there when you arrived but gets noticed when you leave, guess who they assume caused it? Experienced cruisers do this automatically. Not because cruise lines are evil, but because documentation protects you. Once you've captured it, you can relax, unpack, and enjoy your cabin without that little voice in the back of your head wondering, was that already like that? And the next tip explains why timing matters if something does need fixing. Number 21, fix cabin issues immediately, not later. This is one of those lessons people usually learn the hard way. If something in your cabin isn't right, the aircon isn't working, the toilet won't flush properly, a light is broken, the balcony door won't seal. Report it as soon as you notice it. And waiting until the next day seems polite, but it actually works against you. On boarding day, maintenance teams are already on standby, fixing last-minute issues from the previous sailing. Once the ship settles into full cruise mode, those quick fixes suddenly take much longer. There's also a quiet reality most people don't realize. Early reports are taken more seriously. If a cabin problem affects comfort and you flag it immediately, you're far more likely to get a fast repair, or in some cases, a better solution. I've seen people wait 2 days, finally complain, and then hear, "We wish you told us earlier." So speak up early. You're not being difficult, you're being smart. One final habit coming up can save you confusion every single day of the cruise. Number 22. Learn the ship layout early and it saves frustration all week. This one sounds boring, but it quietly makes the entire cruise easier. On boarding day, take 10 minutes to do a simple loop of the ship. Not sightseeing, just orientation. Walk a few decks, glance at the maps, and get a feel for how the ship actually flows. Notice where the bathrooms are, where water and coffee are located, which elevators make sense, and how far your cabin is from food and shows. You don't need to memorize anything, your brain does that part automatically. Later in the cruise, when you're tired, hungry, or trying to get somewhere quickly, this pays off. Instead of stopping to check maps or arguing about whether to go up or down, you just move. You'll see other first-timers pacing back and forth, staring at deck plans and muttering under their breath, while you already know the shortcut. It's a small habit that removes dozens of tiny frustrations before they ever happen. Number 23. Sailaway isn't best from the pool deck. Most first-time cruisers hear Sailaway party and head straight to the pool deck, assuming that's where the magic happens. What they usually find instead is wall-to-wall people, loud music, no shade, and drinks being juggled like a contact sport. Fun for some, overwhelming for others. Here's the secret. The best sail-away views are usually somewhere else. Forward decks are often calmer and give you a dramatic view of the ship cutting through the water. Wake bars at the back let you watch the port slowly disappear. And if you have a balcony, that's easily the most relaxed sail-away of all. Experienced cruisers pick their sail-away spot intentionally. They don't follow the crowd. They choose the experience they actually want. Sail-away only happens once per cruise. It's worth enjoying it somewhere you can actually breathe. Number 24. Turn airplane mode on before sail-away. This is the mistake that quietly costs first-time cruisers real money. As soon as the ship starts moving, your phone begins searching for signals. And it doesn't care that you're on holiday. It can latch onto maritime or international networks in seconds, and those charges stack up fast. And people assume they're safe because they weren't using their phone. That's the trap. Background app refreshes, email syncing, weather updates, one innocent photo upload, and suddenly there's a roaming charge that costs more than a shore excursion. The fix is easy and boring, which is why people forget it. Before sail-away, switch on airplane mode. Then if you've purchased ship Wi-Fi, turn Wi-Fi back on manually. That's it. Experienced cruisers do this automatically, usually while everyone else is cheering at sail-away. Because nothing kills the post-cruise glow faster than opening your phone bill and thinking, wait, what is that charge? If you found this helpful, you'll love the video on the end screen. Click here and I'll see you over there.